Maybe
There we go. So welcome everyone to
you can
Transformative
stop
Learning
also the
Journeys.
music. Oh,
It's a real pleasure to see you all here. I'm gonna just stop sharing my screen and music, but just so when you see all the faces, the two people facilitating this session today are Luz and David from Evolving Education, and we're really glad to see you all.
fantastic. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming. We are really, really excited because we are here today to celebrate change. And I think that sometimes, well, not sometimes, but life really goes too fast. And we don't have many times time to stop and reflect on the things that we have learned. And we are here to celebrate those small steps that we are doing transforming education. Because the ultimate goal that we want to achieve is an utopia. Transforming education means that we are transforming the way we live and creating a more sustainable world. And that's a really big goal. So we need to, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. And we need to celebrate the small steps in the process and the small things that we are walking.
Yeah, and we really mean each step, the good ones and the not so good ones, because we learn the most when things don't work out as we expected. Mistakes are great learning opportunities. So we need to push ourselves to dream, to give it a try, to experiment. And this concept of developing experiment or having an experimentation mindset is something that it's core in the way that we work at Evolving Education. Very often we're afraid of doing things differently in education because we want the best for children, right? And that pushes us to think about perfection. How can we do something that is perfect for children? But that can prevent us from actually taking action and doing anything. So it becomes easier if we think about it like little experiments designed to learn about how we can improve things step by step. And each experiment helps us to learn about what comes next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the emergency situation that we are right now, like the climate change, the mental health challenges that are happening, and also the emergence of AI are changing completely the world as we know it. And the traditional educational system is preparing everyone to achieve the same standards, but we are all different, and it's not supporting actually people to develop their strengths. And many times, it's even judging their weaknesses and the things that they are missing. So I think that we cannot continue doing the same, and because we are not actually supporting children to live a fulfilling life. So change now, it's not an option but a necessity. So in a world of automation, it's super important to support young people to find their purpose and discover what they are passionate about. In the era of over information, it's essential for young people to develop critical thinking and decide what role do they want to play in the world. And in the world in which mental health problems have reached scary numbers, it's very important to learn to live in community and to relate with each other in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in essence, moving from an ecosystem to an ecosystem. We believe that building robust communities is one of the most meaningful things that we can do right now. Only together we can make the world a better place. And this is an open session of the Alumni Network of Evolving Education, where everyone is invited, um, and where the people that joined the last edition of the Learning Expedition are going to share their education projects, their little experiments. So stay with us today to learn about the stories of education transformation of Musa, Asma, Lexmi, Ida, and Fanny. If you can share the screen, Luz. Each of them come from a different context and focus. So you will be able to choose among these three columns, kind of areas of dialogues, improving learning spaces, learning in family and nature, and personal growth, to have more focused conversations. And at the end, you also get a digital magazine with 16 innovation projects, which include also the innovation projects from the Spanish group. Um, and there we ask each participant to describe an education practice that they found valuable, tell us how they put it into practice, so what was their little experiment to move from theory to the real world, and to reflect on the experience. Your silence.
Yeah. Yeah, always happens the same to me. Anyways, so yeah, we wanted to start today asking or experimenting with what it feels like to learn in a different way. So if you are hoping to attend to a theoretical presentations and just listen passively, this is not going to happen. Today we are going to have fun. And we wanted to start getting to know each other a little bit more and sharing something that is very special for us. And it's, what is your dream? I don't know if you remember when was the last time that someone asked, what is your dream? And when it was the last time actually that you also heard another person to share about what they are dreaming. So today we wanted to create this a small space to share a little bit more about what are we dreaming for in this world. So we are gonna prepare rooms. There's gonna be 3 people in each room, and we are gonna share just in 6 minutes, so 2 minutes per person, to just give it a try and share what is our dream. So David is gonna prepare the rooms, and yeah, there's gonna be a message that is gonna appear in your screen, and you just have to accept it, and then it'll take you to that room. Okay, so everybody is getting back. Thank you very much for participating, and I hope it was fun to reflect about your and think about your dreams. And I think that we have to talk a lot about our dreams for them to come true. So the more we talk about them, the more possibilities there are that actually we get a little bit closer. Um, I just wanted to start also this, just for the ones that don't know us, just to share a little bit of who is David and I, who are these people that are doing these things. So, but it's really connected. I wanted to start connecting it with those dreams, because when I was little and I was dreaming of traveling around the world and learning about different cultures and being an actress, and all those dreams didn't fit really well inside the ideal of success that we have in the Western society. So I kind of reframe my dreams to something that fit better in that society, like getting a job and a house, and at some point having children, which now seems really scary. But when I got to that good job and I was on the right path, I realized that I wasn't happy. And I think that's because the dreams I have, or the dreams I had fulfilled, were not actually mine, but the ones that society have set up for me. And then is when that question of the dreams of what do I really want and what is my passion started kicking in, and I couldn't avoid those questions. And then, yeah, at some point I had to take action on the things that I was really passionate about. And I always wanted to have a positive impact in the world, and I think education is the key to change the world. So I trained as a teacher, but then the preparation I received, it was like, oh my goodness, this since that it hasn't evolved at all in the last, I don't know, the last 200 years, but definitely since I went to school, it hasn't changed. And the way they were teaching me that I have to teach, it was I go, oh my God, I'm just gonna prepare children and youth to be as lost as I was when I finished my studies. So, and also when I was working also in that, well, in the science industry, and we have so many trainings on how to trust in yourself, how to work in teams. And it was like, how can this be that we are working on this now, and we should be learning these things at the school? So I think that there should be other ways of teaching and learning. I just wasn't aware about how to do it. And then I started my thesis into innovative methodologies in education. And then is when I discovered that there were many, many schools around the world doing things in a completely different way that were mind-blowing, that were supporting children to develop critical thinking and autonomy and creativity. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do things in a different way. And I started teaching, and it was kind of a disaster. I pretty much just translated what was in the book to a PowerPoint presentation, thinking that that would make the change, and that wasn't. So that kind of started a quest on and a research project, trying to figure out, to visit these different learning spaces around the world and trying to figure out how they were working, observing them, recording, doing interviews with the facilitators, the teachers, the learners, the families, and trying to learn how other ways of educating were possible. And that's how Evolving Education started now 6 years ago. So
And thank you, Lu, for sharing that. And just to share a little bit about myself, I think that the core theme across my life is that I love learning, and I love learning new things all the time, reinventing myself. And the more I learned, the more I realized that we already know a lot. I mean, we already have a lot of tools and resources and methodologies to make this world a better place. What I think is missing many times, on one hand, that we don't know about these possibilities, and on the second, that we don't have the support needed to take it forward and to contextualize it and put it into the real world. And this has taken me to work in very diverse areas like building research teams in biomedicine, managing alliances, incubation programs for social innovators, and facilitating personal growth workshops. But the most transformative experience have been going with Luz to all these learning centers and talking with young people, with the founders, facilitators. It it really made me question everything, my own life, aspirations, habits, and above all, it gave me hope because the people in these spaces they show me that learning spaces can be seeds from where to create a more just and sustainable society. Um, yeah. But at the same time, we know that there's a lot still to be done, and that it's not an easy journey. That's why we started, after all this adventure, we started working on how can we democratize the access to all this know-how. So we develop awareness campaigns and trainings and support ecosystem for education innovators. And the Learning Expedition is one of those key programs. So it's very connected to what we're seeing today. So I want to share just a little bit about what it is about. It's a global learning journey about youth agency and lifelong learning. It's a way in which we try to develop a virtual journey for people to experiment, though that diversity of learning space is going through three main stations of personal growth, motivation, and autonomy. And with the goal of transcending from teacher to facilitator of meaningful learning, creating pioneering learning spaces, and joining a global community of value-driven education change makers. And with all those things in mind, we found that even though there were all these beautiful methodologies and circles and agile management tools and sociocracy and all these different things, that just the tools per se didn't necessarily make a difference if they weren't supported by the right mindset. And that's how little by little we were refining this methodology that we call expedition. And it's based on these three steps of exploring, experiencing, and expressing. First, exploring this diversity of tools, getting inspired by what's possible outside, but also exploring inside through our own personal self-discovery, understanding our emotional triggers, for instance. Then experiencing these horizontal learning methodologies in first person as a learner in the facilitated goals, and then developing little experiments. And that's what we're going to hear today about. And finally, something that we're really passionate about is, and where we're putting more and more of our efforts and time is to, in the express part, is building trust-based communities where we can share challenges and find support with each other.
Yes. So today we have organized kind of a dynamic in order for everyone for the ones that wanted to present their projects. So you can first get to know them and see what they have done, and then we'll have time to go to rooms and ask more questions. And so we will have the possibility to learn about the projects that I have to remember the Adipoli and Leiwan and Mabuhay. I really like the Mabuhay projects that the people that have been participating in the learning expedition has done. And to do this, we are going to do a dynamic called celebrity interview. So we are going to have celebrities that we shared before is Lakshmi, Musa, Fani, Ida, and Asma. And they are going to share in 5 minutes what was their project about, a little bit about themselves and their projects. And then the audience is going to have the possibility to select in which room they want to go and ask more questions and going a little bit deeper to get to understand a little bit more the project, or if you have any question, you can ask for it. And we'll have 20 minutes to do that. And finally, we'll all come back to the main room and do kind of a short summary of the things that you have learned and have been talking about. And that will be for around 10 minutes. So if everyone is happy, we can start with the celebrities of the day. And the first celebrity to start can be Musa. And I'm also going to put a timer so we don't, because I know that we get super excited, or I get really excited and sometimes don't stop talking. So just to have a reminder there, about 5 minutes that presentation. So Musa, do you want to be the first celebrity? Is Musa? Yes.
Yes. Hello everyone. Well, thank you very much, Luis and David, for this great event. Maybe for those who are just joining new here today, my name is Musa Kone. I'm from Sierra Leone. I am a passionate person about women and girls empowerment and also community-led development initiative. That's what I believe in, and that has been my dream. That's what I'm really focused to do in Sierra Leone, and I also want to do it now across the world if the time can permit me. Uh, well, um, well, Zolus, can I talk about my project? Because I don't know, I cannot able to present it on the to show everything on the screen.
Yeah, of course, if you want.
Okay. During the learning expedition, we learned a lot of things. I'm really, really grateful because I have learned a lot of things that is really, really helping me out in my project and also in my community-led development initiative, especially mobilizing people for a particular change that we have seen as a key thing that can really bring the type of things that we want. So I also want to say thanks to the team because we share a lot of ideas. But one of the things that I really pick up there was among all the topics or all the things that we learn, maybe it might be like a subtopic, but it's really, really key to me. It's really touched me. And as I speak, it's really making a great, great impact in our that is was a topic or something we talk about, which was like a change up. Change up is something that's really, really, really key. And when we talk about change ups, we talks about like observation, solution, practice, and also how to really integrate those observations or solutions that you have identified. That has been really, really key because it has really helped us to really combine the strategies and also the management tools and also like the human-centered design thinking principles that it's really help people to think and identify the things that have been going on well and what has not been going on well. And that has been one of the key things that has been missing in our project and the things that I've been doing. And it has been really, really affecting us emotionally, mentally, but now this particular change up, I see it as a roadmap for transformation, has really, really changed that one for us. When I learned that thing, when I take it as a project, the main objective now when I choose this particular topic as a project to really see how I can implement it has been like we create a platform for learning and also sharing among the young mothers that we are working with and also the expectants and also the parents and the community members for feedbacks and also how we can also track progress. So involving those people for them to really bring in their own ideas to tell us what has been missing or what should be added in this part in our program has really, really bring a big transformation because first of all, they are now seeing themselves as important people, and now they are also seeing that they are part of the project. The project is owned by them because their feedback is respected and is taken into consideration. So that is what has made this particular topic very, very key and impactful to me. So that was the objective. We have really during this process, we are able to identify observe and identify key things that we are missing out. And we have able now to bring in, like, let me talk about the family tracing and reunification, which has been really, really challenging. So it was one thing that was missing when we get our focus group discussion now with the girls themselves. They were able to identify that we need to bring in religious leaders because they were not part of it. One of the girls told us that one of the things that has been giving you challenges, Mr. Connor, in this particular process is because you are not bringing like the religious leaders. And I asked why. And she told me that if you bring them in, most of our parents, they listen to those religious leaders when they go to the mosque or to the church. Whatsoever they tell them is what they go by. So if you bring them in, it will be really, really easy for you to really handle those situations. And we did it as a solution, and we practice it, and we integrate it in the program, and now it works out well. It takes all some time. It has been taking us like 2 or 3 months before we can. Oh, my time is up.
No, it's good. But if you want to conclude, Musa, that's okay.
Yeah, it takes all like 2 or 3 months before we can able to reunify like 2 girls. But with this particular process now in our hand, now I will tell you it is not exaggeration, but I will tell you in the shortest possible time we are able to reunify 35 girls easily without spending any too much money on it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Musa, for sharing. I'm just, this is from the magazine, just to share a couple of images of the work that Musa does, which is super impactful, working with young mothers and expectant women who have been a little bit left out of their communities and societies, and particularly of education, and how he works with them to help them to get back and to learn a trade. And I'm glad that Change Up Tool was a way to bring this ownership, that this is their space and their program, and they can bring up solutions that help them to connect with their families, even as you share. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Musa. So the next
thank you so much.
Yeah. The next celebrity will be Ida. Are you ready?
Yes.
Fantastic. All yours.
Okay, so my name is Ida Štimec. I'm from a country named Slovenia. It's a small country in European Union. And I'm an ex-primary teacher, but realized that the public education isn't suitable for me nor my family. So I started homeschooling my children when the COVID situation started. And this has been now for 4 years. And it's very challenging, but also rewarding. So I'm really joyful to be here today and to join the learning expedition, because I've learned a lot, and I connected my previous knowledge with new knowledge, and I met so many wonderful people who inspired me and inspire me today and in the future. So for my experiment, I choose to go in the field of play and experimenting, because I want to build a lasting knowledge for my boys, make learning fun, encourage creativity, use various available materials, nurture intrinsic motivation, and follow the child's curiosity and interest. So I would like to present today my second. I did 2 experiments, but I would like to present the second one, which is with spinning. So my boys had a lot of fun with spinners and spinning tops and everything that spins, actually, from a little electric circuit. They built it and they added a little spinner. So it was really fun looking how fast can it go, how slow can it go. So I got an idea. We have this kind of cubes. I don't know if you know it, but they are linking cubes. And I decided to make spinning tops from them. So one morning, I get those cubes, and I told them, why can't we become engineers? Would you like to become engineers? And they were really excited. And all they've got is this. And I didn't build anything. They were just plain cubes, and they had to decide what they will connect together. How would they build it? So yeah, they just started. Like boys, they are always constructing something, and they were really excited. So yeah, this is one of the designs. So you place it on the floor, or something that can hold it, and you spin it, and you just watch for how long can it spin. And we had a little competition. So who did the best spinner top, and what can we do to correct it? So this lasts for, I don't know, maybe 2 hours, and it was really inspiring. We decided to go on with these experiments, and we continued to explore what else can we spin, what else in the nature can spin, and this was really our little project. At the end, I would like to tell about what project I'm in Slovenia, because we have really rigid public school education. And I joined Lada Center, which is supporting alternative education families. And we are especially active in the field of self-directed education and right-centric education. If someone wants to connect with me in that field, it would be really beautiful. Or if someone is doing something in that connecting field also, I will be really happy. That's it from me.
Thank you, Ida. That was fantastic. Okay, so the next celebrity then is Asma. There you go. All yours.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Asma Radwan, and I live in Alexandria in Egypt. The learning expedition was an extraordinary experience for me, and I chose to delve on personal growth exercises. So to get to know my purpose, I chose a philosophy called the Ikigai philosophy, and it is in brief to answer 4 questions to find your purpose in life, starting with a thing that you are good at, a thing that you love, and to think about what does the world need, and then what can you earn money from, combining all these sectors to find your purpose, which is actually not not an end goal. It's a process so that you can repeat it many times in your life. And I found that the thing that I'm good at and that I love, I actually am passionate about, and is actually writing. And then coming back to what the world needs, and going from a personal experience that I personally have gone through, I thought that people who suffer from mental illness actually go through many hardships while studying and learning in the universities and schools, which I have gone through myself. So I thought of starting to a project that can combine between writing to help people who have mental illnesses, give them some tips through learning, and also to help me do this, I started continuing my studies after I graduated from the faculty. So I am studying philosophy right now, and then I'm going to continue studying psychology and then linguistics so that I can develop myself, because I believe in lifelong learning, and so that I can help myself and the others find a better place which they can actually feel not less than others and not more, and they can compete in this world, find their places, and also find their purpose in life. Thank you.
Thank you
Wow,
very much, Asma. Thank you
fantastic.
for sharing. And you'll be invited later. One of the rooms is about your own personal growth and talking about these experiences of vulnerability and self understanding and direction.
Okay, and then the next celebrity is Lakshmi.
Hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Lakshmi. I live in the country India, from the state called Kerala, which is at the southern part of India, which is known for its rich culture, backwaters, and here people have a deep respect for education as well. So to begin with, thanks a lot to David and Luz for this opportunity. So the idea I have about this project, it has been there in my mind for a while, but only when it was asked to submit as a project, I did a we did a deep research on the resources available, and writing it down, it has given me a better clarity, and it is now in a way that it is able to communicate your idea, which can be useful to others who are looking like it is a very simple model. But it gives a deeper understanding about children. So let me uh, start this. Can I share my presentation?
Yes,
Yes,
you
yes.
can.
Okay, can you see this? Okay, so we often, as adults, we often design the world in a way that we want to be, or we want the children to be in, not intentionally, but mostly neglecting the needs of children, whether it is schools, parks, pathways, or toys. We design it the way we want. It is not no offense. I know it is not intentionally, but it is the way it goes. So there comes the need of understanding things from their point of view, and so is it possible, so this question, like, is it possible to create or build something new or imagine something new without understanding them? It is that question that I have explained in this project, that is a seeing through their eyes. And here I have applied the Maslow's need hierarchy as a foundation. So this is a figure I have made. See, on the left side we can see
Right now, Lakshmi, we only see the quotes of if we could see the world through the eyes of a child. I have over here that pyramid. If you want, I can share it.
Yeah, please. Okay, can I continue?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay, so I'll give you an overview about the Maslow's need hierarchy. It must be familiar with many, but again, it is developed by Abraham Maslow. So according to his theory, um, all individuals, all human beings are supposed to pass through these 5 levels, and only when the lower needs are fulfilled, they can move to the next level. So applying this, to the, like, how we can understand children, or how we can empathize and understand the needs of the children, I have modified it into this way, as we can see at the middle. Okay, so we have the psychological needs, safety needs, belonging needs, esteem needs, and self actualization. When the lower needs are met, we can move on to the next level. So, a child uh, who is in the physiological level, see, the safe home and clean clothing is, for him, that is the need. And once that is satisfied, then he needs to feel more safe. Then his needs are more like he needs to be accepted. And thus he moves further. And only when he reaches the final level, that is where he is able to love himself and use his full potential, uh, only then he is able to explore himself and reach the higher level of that stage. So, uh, so there comes the need where teachers need to empathize and take the children at the earliest to the highest level. So, like to summarize, we can say that play, learn, eat, and sleep are the most important needs of the children. So, when a child, when like we feel like there is a behavior issue or we find something is lacking with the child, we have to empathize and understand and apply the Maslow's need hierarchy and understand why they do the way they do, or why they act, or why they say in the way they say that. So we get to understand them better and help them to solve the issues. Um, can I see the next table? Yeah. So here is a case study where we can see a child who had issues with the psychological needs and what actions we are taken. And the same child had safety needs. So what actions we have taken? You can quickly go through it. So, and the whole process, the model has been developed by using design thinking, where the teachers are given workshops on how we can like empathize and how the learning, how we can understand the children by making their profile and by mapping their unmet needs and then applying the Maslow's law, and then how in reflection meetings remedial actions can be taken, and it goes. So this is where I know that this is something.
Sorry, you can conclude, Lakshmi. It's okay.
This might feel like it is a very simple, but I have been practicing this more than a year, and it's very easy. Like there is no need of much documentation happening. It's so easy for teachers to understand why a child act in a particular way, because here in India we have like if you take a private school, we have children coming from various background and in a particular class itself. So it can be challenging for the teachers to understand them. So this model might help.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing and for building this model and the steps and describing it so clearly as well in your project, like how to implement it with an example even.
Fantastic. So then the last presentation, it will be funny. So that's the last celebrity. Whenever you're ready.
Hello, my name is Fanny Skamagi. I am in the country, it's called Greece, and in a small island, it's Corfu. I have a vision about an educational project, and I would like to read it for you. So, I got inspired by my experience working in forest schools in England, my participation at the learning expedition, and my personal vision regarding one of the many styles of education. And this style is word schooling. So the vision is like the ideal place for my project is to be organized and implemented in a natural setting, a farm with parts of wild habitats and preferably with water near it or through it to create flow and also to be available for experiments. It will be great to be near a wider community of people that are entrepreneurs, scientists, healers, farmers, or any vibrant community space. There will be an organized forest school setting for children ages 2 to 5 years old. This setting can be inside a wild woodland area, close to animals and vegetable gardens. There, the children can be outdoors all the time and have a yurt or a wooden cabin for the ones that occasionally need to be indoors. The forest school will offer various workshops that children are free to choose and participate in. The days will start with a morning sharing circle, and lunchtime will be a time for bonding and sharing ideas. The space is organized for sensory play, but also for working with tools, music, and theater. The idea is to inspire learning through play. Now, for children 6 to 9-year-old, the forest school setting will be open and additional spaces to learn about permaculture and outdoor workshops of carpentry, pottery, theater, music, whatever is the interest of the children. And the children will be free to choose what they want to participate in. Nature connection games and travels for learning other ecosystems and cultures. For children 10 plus, a different setting can be created, and this is a community hub where there will be outdoor creative spaces, gathering space for all the participants, outdoor kitchens, allotments for cultivating their own food, sports, but also indoors for library, music production, art, makerspace, ICT. There will be space and guidance for personal exploration projects for individuals, but also for group projects. The mindset that this learning hub will be created on will be reflecting on permaculture ethos and principles, will operate with agile learning tools, be grounded in ancient wisdom and knowledge, and will inspire kindness by tapping into nonviolent communication principles. Self-directed learning will be modeled, and daily we will create meetings of the participants following the model of democratic education. The space will be open to happily host educational groups from different regions or other countries, so people can exchange knowledge, educational practices, co-create group culture, and they can co-imagine about their future and the world. In the same fashion, learners from the local area may travel to other regions or countries across the globe to expand their knowledge, expose themselves in different cultures, and learn through experience about topics that interest them. Educational projects can be the solutions in places that will be hosting the learners, and this way everybody will benefit from this educational interaction. And the aim of this vision, the aim of this project is to create a space where everyone feels welcomed, free, creative, and valued. It will be a space for all the children in the area, for all ages and all ethnicities and languages. And it will be a space for everyone to be a free thinker. This space will respect the animals and the earth and recognizes them as equals when decisions are made that involve them. The hub will celebrate inclusivity and individuality, and in parallel strive for community coherence. It is inspired to be based in nature, as we recognize her as an equal facilitator that provides an amazing learning ecosystem. Everything is in motion, and we are constantly affected by the elements and other organisms around us. Something that I would like to inspire is biomimicry as a great concept that invites us to get inspired by nature to create solutions and innovate based on models that nature already has been perfecting for thousands of years. Observing natural system patterns and integrating ancient knowledge from local elders, we can regenerate the ecosystems and with them the relationships that people have with the land, the animals, and with each other. We recognize nature as a great healer for the individual, but also for the community. We learn to cultivate our food, collect our herbs, cook nutritious food, and we share it with our community. This simple and natural action is the base for healthy natural living. The project aims in building a healthy, vibrant community that honors and respects that every person is a source of knowledge and experiences, and making learning visible by inviting as facilitators and also learners in the same time, the broader community. A community that encourages people to share their dreams, is characterized by horizontal dynamics, sociocracy, and allows everyone to have a voice. That allows time and space for reflection and sharing, storytelling, and this way hopefully manages to nurture community coherence and cultural emergence.
Thank you, Fanny. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing this vision of this space that you're actually right now working to create in Greece, right? In Corfu.
Yes. Yes.
In everyone is gonna go there.
Thank you. I hope.
Okay, so now we have had the opportunity to listen to all to these 5 celebrities, and now it's time to ask questions, to go a little bit deeper, whichever thing that maybe you have tried and you have struggled, then we have the opportunity now to go a little bit deeper and ask that questions. We have tried to divide them in different categories. So Musa and Lakshmi are in improving learning spaces through like the different strategies and tools that they have shared. Then we have Ida and Fanny in learning in family and in nature. And then we have Asma in personal growth. So I have created the rooms. Let's say the celebrities are going to be completely directly redirected to those rooms, and then you can choose which one you want to go and get to know a little bit more. So,
and it can also be a chance to share about your own experiences in this area. So this is a time to get to know each other, to dialogue, to co-learn.
So now a message should appear, and then you can choose which room do you want to go to. And if that message doesn't appear, please let me know, and I'll put you in room 1, 2, or 3. Yes.
Yeah, we're all back on the main room. I'm sure that there were some conversations that were cut right in the middle. This is what happens when time is limited, like in real life. But with technology, it's like we have done this in rooms with like in physical scenarios, and we have to go around with a bell. Please go back. So I must say that Zoom makes our lives way easier.
And we were caught in the middle of some very important discussions.
Okay.
And I believe, Lakshmi, you can reach me out, or later, I don't know how we are going to do this.
Yeah, sure. We can connect, and let's see how I can suggest more on your the issues you have mentioned.
Okay,
we can work it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I think that also we have some time to kind of summarize the things that have happened inside in each of our rooms. So maybe there is also a little bit of a space to share for each of you something that that you learn, or whichever you have been talking about. So maybe in the first room, there were many people. I know Musa and Lakshmi were the ones that were kind of the hosts. So if you want to share something that you have been talking about, how did it go? A summary,
some insights, some common themes that were discussed in there for everyone that wasn't there to learn about it.
I'm really glad that people have understood what I was saying, what I was intending to convey. People have really understood. So I'm really glad. Again, this is just what I have mentioned here is just a tool. We need to develop more ways to implement this. It just can be used as a basic tool. In different contexts, this has to be used in different ways. And we can, I'm glad that there is a lot of research can be done in this area.
Thank you.
Because I feel that
thank you for the opportunity.
Your project is, I mean, it's really good. The part of you're observing how is the child, what are how are they feeling, what is the situation, and there's a really core part there of observation of
It is simple as that. It is very simple. All you need is to observe.
And then doing those small experiments to see what works, what helps, what doesn't help, and that way we can support them better in that process.
Yes.
And I love that you did it in as a team as well, with the other teachers, kind of sharing this perspective of how to observe children, how to support them. So that's really meaningful, because to work as a team, and some of the most inspiring learning centers that we have been into was like you put a foot on the door and you can feel that it's a team atmosphere. People cheering with each other, someone comes with a piece of cake, they're talking about the next birthday, and it's like really an atmosphere of we're on this together.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know, it just came to my mind, this tool that, I mean, it's not even, well, it's a tool. It's the check-ins, doing the check-ins and getting to see how people is coming to the space is something that can be really transformative. Because whenever I went to this learning space and it was like, oh my God, I slept today, horrible. And then the kids are jumping around and so on. And then all your team now knows how you are feeling and they can support you also. So there is that we, once that we are aware, once that the cards are on the table, then we can support each other way easily than if we just don't say anything or people just don't know. Any more ideas or things that have
emerge
over there?
Yeah, the beauty about it is that it goes back to the basics of communication. And I think no matter what we are doing, if we start to communicate on a deep level to each who is included in, let's say, a learning center or a class or whatever, and I think it actually shows how simple life is if we just start to communicate on an eye-to-eye level. And yeah, that's the lesson for me again, hearing all those aspects which were shared.
I'm glad that you say it, Herman. And how difficult is communication?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Something that really helped me, I was watching one dialogue, and there was a lady that was sharing that people want to live in community, but then when they live in community, it's like, oh my God, I have to deal with people and communicate. And one thing that she shared that really helped me, it was that the presupposition, like, I am not going to communicate the best way I can, because I have grown up in and all my experience, maybe the communication has not been easy, or there is judgments in them, and then people get in a defensive state. So creating a community in which we agree that we are going to try to communicate the best way we can, but most of the times we are going to make it wrong, kind of allow me to relax a little bit more, because it's like I'm not saying this thing because I want to hurt you. I'm saying this thing because it's the only way I have to communicate something that is really difficult and maybe I'm emotionally attached. So kind of having that agreement between all of us that we're going to try to communicate and we're going to make mistakes in that communication, but I'm not doing it on purpose. I think that also can really help to make easy that communication.
Fantastic.
Ideas over there that I stay with you. I think that
maybe the second room.
Okay, yeah. The second room, we have Fanny and Ida, and then Judith, Puya, Tanu, Julie, Vera, Electra. So if you have any
about learning in nature and in family. So any insights that you can share from your dialogue there?
Maybe that we all agreed that Fanny has a wonderful idea that will be implemented soon. And she had a lot of questions to answer. And then the participants wanted to learn a little bit more about Lada Center. And yeah, it's inspiring to talk to similar people that share the ideas that you have.
Thank you, Ida.
Any more insights over there?
Yeah, I think I would add I think this also connects in what has emerged just now in terms of communication. That the nuance of that is there is a language behind, anyways, we communicate, and the voices and the powerful ones and the marginalized ones must be also attended to, and those can shift in different places or context, and whose voice, whose language in the communication is upheld or silenced, I think becomes important, which is something I've learned in a project I did in my own home country, the Philippines, with remote farming communities. I don't speak. So so that this with the project shared in that learning with families, communication, but what language? Whose language? And the language of place, and the place that communicates its own knowing and being is quite strong in the projects that were shared in our group, I feel. Anyway, so thank you.
Thank you, Judith. Okay, and maybe if we go to the personal growth, Asma, Johannes, Gloria, Glenda, and Vishwa. I don't know if Vishwa was there, but yeah. Any insights that you would like to share?
Well,
So maybe I get one inspiration there. I'm very glad that I could be in this space with of us, and I felt really inspiring to see the courage of sharing that Asma with her story and project bring with us, especially for people that having this non-mainstream life stage. Yeah, and I think there are a lot of potential in that, because the mainstream actually only give very narrow perspective of what life could be. So when we are not having these limited possibilities, or I mean, this life forms that presented in the life stage, in the mainstream, it is still possible to have other possibilities to explore what is my ikigai, what is the thing, the work I can bring into the world through a beautiful project like Asma is doing. And it also gives me inspiration for the interviews I'm doing with people in their own field that bring transformations, and at the same time enjoying a long-lasting life for themselves that has built on. Yeah, it is pretty much inspiration, because I just done my first pilot interview last week, and I will keep on this road, and also looking for new interviewees in the process. Thank you. Thank you all.
Awesome, Gloria. Thanks for sharing.
I think Asma was going to share something as well before.
I was going to say that I didn't expect it will resonate with people, but actually Gloria and Vishwa and all people in the room, they were speaking about personal growth and the ikigai philosophy, and actually I will be contacting with Vishwa and maybe Gloria if she wanted to get more through this. And I was happy and more motivated actually to continue on the road that I start.
Fantastic. Cool.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for sharing. Vishwa, you wanted to add something? Yeah.
So I feel I have a sense of this place. Evolving education. It's Lutz and David. It's I want to crowdsource a question, and the question is, how do you make hard things easy? Do you have a word for that? Like making hard things easy. Do anyone have a word for that?
Community.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's the
Because
people who make it easy and asking for help.
Communication also, open communication.
And creating safety so people can really share what their needs are and what they do well, because that creates the foundation for change when people feel have their back. So that makes a big difference.
Making a lot of mistakes also.
Oh yeah, making mistakes, yes.
Like,
and learn from our mistakes, right?
yeah, and also one thing that I realized is like humor and fun. I think that like since after the trip, I have been questioning everything, like too many things, until a point that I'm like, I can also have fun, right? It's life. I mean, you can question all you want, but you should. It's important to enjoy the whole process and have fun and smile a lot.
Yeah.
And that makes things easier.
Yeah, we find that
Yeah.
in many education congresses, like they're very serious talking about the stats and why this and that. It's like, wow, we need to have more fun in education. We want to change this and enjoying it along the process.
And I would like to add that they make this possible because of the questions they choose to make us inquire and think about. They are very good at setting questions actually, and the tools they use, I can't help but remembering when we did the crowd.
Wise crowd?
Yeah, the wise crowd. It was so beautiful, and it was actually a very creative tool to help us connect and share ideas and see the other person, what problems they have, and how can we help him, how can we understand the situation more. It was so useful, and it was actually very ice-breaking and help us to make better connection.
Thank you, Esma. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we love the wise crowd. We use it extensively at Ubuntu Mastermind, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about at the end of this session.
Trust also. That's another thing I have. Like whenever you trust everyone, then that there is reciprocity and it comes back to you, and then
something that I find talking about these dynamics and the big questions that Asma was saying that we bring is that we like how to collaborate, and what we were mentioning, how to communicate in an effective manner horizontally. It's a new skill. I haven't seen it in my family. I haven't seen it in my school, in my village where I was brought up, but it can be developed. And there are some small levers like this type of dynamics that just give you step-by-step guides to start playing with that. And while you play with it, start developing the skills to make them work. Because usually the tool by itself, if you still have kind of a hierarchical communication style and so on, it doesn't work so much. But if you kind of play with both of them, little by little, they start functioning more better and better and better. So kind of tool and a skill developing, but yeah, it's worth definitely trying and keep practicing with them, playing with these tools.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yay!
So maybe just to continue a little bit, we have about 20 minutes left all together, and we wanted to share with you, because probably you want to know more about these different projects, and we just heard about 5 of them, but there's 16 that we captured out of the last edition of the Learning Expedition. And we put them in a magazine, also translating the projects from the group in Spanish, so that you can see all of them. And if you can share a screen, Luz, because the magazine also help us. So what we do at the end of each session is that we do a little review about how we did, what can we do better, how can we keep learning to improve, and that help us a little kind of measure of the impact of the program. And now that we have been doing the learning expedition for 4 years, and we have been capturing these insights, we can share the insights for the past 3 years, which is when we were measuring them. And we're so proud of this, so I cannot avoid sharing them. Because on the personal growth side, 92% of the people say that they connected with their personal values and purpose. 80% gain tools to build positive relationships, either with youth or with colleagues. And on the professional development side, 96% of people said that they are using strategies and tools from the program, and 95% that they strengthen their ability to develop new initiatives, so social innovation. And finally, community is something that at the beginning it didn't look this good, but we keep trying and learning and setting different little mechanisms to build relationships. And now we can find that more than 80% of people collaborate and share good practices and feel part of a global community of education change makers. And also a question that we tend to get asked very often is, but who is it that you work with? And we can display that quite transparently and openly. We work with lots of diverse people, but they mostly fall in these 4 categories. Many of them are actually in all of them at the same time. They are founders of new education projects, facilitators in alternative learning spaces or in non-formal education, teachers in more formal education in schools or even at universities, and families that are doing homeschooling, unschooling, or really taking an active role in the development of their children. And they work with young people in all age groups, but as you see, primary education, high school, and mixed ages are some of the biggest categories over there. And as we have been working with all this diversity of people and researching about best practices and pioneer spaces in education, what we find is that there's a very common theme. There's a very clear direction of change about that it seems to be building up. And we can see it even at an international level in some of the recommendations, for instance, of the UNESCO in their framework of future competencies for children. Number 1 is lifelong learning, which includes things like curiosity, creativity, critical thinking. And number 2 is self-agency, which includes agency, resilience, responsibility. So it's really about youth empowerment and self-direction that they're talking about. But we know that while this is the direction of change, there's agreement at all levels. There's all the innovation that are happening in different spaces. They are touching these key themes. Still, it's not reaching everyone. So if you can go to the next slide, Lou. We know that still the majority of children and youth don't have access to learner-centered education. And that's what keeps our job active and why we keep working on this, because we know there's still a lot more that can be done. And what we do is to work with the people at the forefront of this transformation, with innovators, with pioneers in education that are making this possible, that already know that this is the path of change, to provide them with the tools, the resources, and the support community. And today, we heard about a lot of stories, and these stories are really connected with these 2 words that I wanted to emphasize. And it's that the opposite of courage is conformity. It's complaining about things that we don't like, things that the government could do, or the policies, or I wish that someone and the society. But when we decide to take action, things actually change. And there's a lot that is within our area of control that where we can start acting. And the stories that you will find in the magazine and you have heard today are full of courage. The courage to try something different, the courage to move beyond the experiences of education and learning that we experience as children, the courage to take a stand in the transformation of education. And this is leadership in action, because leadership is not about titles, it's about responsibility.
Yes, completely. And if we decide to believe that the world, the educational system, or the schools cannot change, then they won't change. But if we decide to believe that society functions as a network in which we all have decision-making power, suddenly many options open up. And now the system is not something that is completely out of our control, but rather we all make the system and our society. So if you are changing your class, if you are creating new learning spaces, if you are raising your children in a different way, you are changing the world. And today we have seen many options for change. Many people are already making this transformation possible. And one thing is that there is not a magic solution that is going to work for everyone, but there's going to be many tools and methods that can help us and that can support us to keep moving forward. So we don't have to do it alone either. We can do this in community and having fun together. And I wanted to thank so much to all the celebrities that have presented today and to everyone that has participated in the program. It has been awesome. My words. It has been adipoli, mabuhay, durdando, mas. So yeah, cool, chingón. It has been amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. And Julie, if you can wait for the questions at the end, we're going to have some time for questions in a little bit. Just to conclude, if you can share slides again, Luz.
Yeah, going.
Just to share it, that if you're one of those that prefer to walk this path together, transforming education, you can stay a bit longer, because we believe that building robust communities is one of the most meaningful things that we can do right now. And our focus is on supporting education pioneers, as I mentioned. We have been getting very consistent feedback pointing to the need for these stronger communities to learn from different contexts, find common solutions. And our answer to that has been Ubuntu Mastermind, which is a unique community that brings together the interconnectedness of the Ubuntu philosophy, I am because we are, and the mastery focus of mastermind groups, where we focus on how can we keep getting better, how can we learn from each other. And this is a peer group that understands that personal transformation is the basis to transform education, and that no one can do it alone. And it's interesting to find that some of the most creative people in history, including inventors like Edison, writers like Tolkien, and many successful entrepreneurs, were part of mastermind groups. This concept was coined by Napoleon Hill in his book, The Law of Success, if you want to move to the next. And where he mentioned that pretty much you become like the people you surround yourself with. So your inner circle is a really key part of your own expression, finally. So we can surround ourselves with values-driven people where we share a vision, and even though each of us is working towards our own goals. And how this actually materializes into something specific. In the next slide, you see the 5 core elements of Ubuntu Mastermind. We've got the collective intelligence sessions, where we use group dynamics, horizontal group dynamics, like the WISE crowd that Asma just mentioned, these are 2 hour long focus project sessions, where one person brings a challenge or a project, and among all of us, we work to support that person and initiatives and look at as many possibilities as we can. Actually, the next one is going to be the 2nd of May, right after we close inscriptions for people to onboard, which is the 1st of May, the last day to join. On the other hand, second, we have Ubuntu's cafes. So this, we didn't have it at the beginning, but it was proposed by the community members, and it's a must to have some informal space to just get to know each other, to share experiences, to have a coffee without any expectations. Although I must say that lately they have turned into really deep conversations. We're questioning patriarchy and culture and national identity, tons of things that there's also a space for that, but it really depends on the participants and how they want to use this space. Third, one of the improvements this year was that there were some topics where we wanted to go deeper. We found something that's like, okay, we really want to learn more about this. So we open up this webinar series called Voices of Change, where we look for an expert on this area. We together with the rest of Ubuntu, we make some questions and see what it is that we want to learn about that, and we facilitate that process. In addition to the dedicated communication channels, spaces for collaboration, and our personal support. So all of this is what we are doing in the extended community of Ubuntu Mastermind, which doesn't have a time end. It's just something that keeps rolling, meeting twice a month, either for a project focus call, the collective intelligence calls, or the cafe sessions. And we like to, the way that we onboard people, it's like specific and in a way that people can get to know each other, feel comfortable, so that we can really learn from each other, feel in a safe space, and also challenge each other and give constructive feedback. So we are accepting application, if you go to the next slide, until May 1st, next week, to join the existing community, which already includes education researchers and innovators like Charlie Moreno, for instance, who created Subemai, a democratic school within a public school in Estonia. Some of the people that are in today's call, like Catherine, who is an expert in sociocracy and movement-based methodologies. I think I saw over there at some point maybe Harika, who is creating a community for homeschooling mothers for their own well-being. People creating networks of community centers like Nishant, who was in our last webinar about Project DeFi. Like lots of diversity of people with very rich experiences to learn from each other. We'll have a call with anyone that is interested in joining. You can, within the application form, you can schedule that call so that we get to know each other and make sure that this is actually a good fit with what you're looking for. There's a membership contribution so that to allow us to keep doing this work with a couple of pricing options. And within the form, you can also specify some of your personal circumstances if you want to. And this is, if you want to go to the last slide now, thank you everyone for listening, for joining Transformative Learning Journeys today, for being so engaged in the conversations, for being an active member of Evolving Education, because we love to see your faces in these events and get to know from each other. And if you want to join our inner circle, this is the Ubuntu until the 1st of May. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. It was like the presentations and everything were super cool. And you'll see the magazine is super cool too. I was so energized after reading all the projects. It was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. So yeah.
Yeah,
thank
now
you.
if you have some questions or some comments you want to make, I think Julie had something.
Hi, yes. So I'm homeschooling my two sons right now, and we have a group of families who are also homeschooling together. We have been talking for the past year, trying to organize into a more formalized, I don't want to call it a school, it's a learning center, a place for the kids to come together. One of our biggest challenges is the location, because ultimately, if we have to rent a space, the finances, how we're gonna do that. So I just wanted to ask, anybody who has put together these kind of unconventional learning spaces, how do you fund such a space? Because there will be costs associated with it. Do you go by donations? Does everybody contribute something every month? Like, how have people been funding things like this? I'm just looking for some ideas.
Thank you. So anyone wants to share how it worked for you? Maybe Fanny, since you're just on that process of opening up this learning center, how the space became available for it.
Sorry, can you repeat, because I was reading the chat? Can you get me in the context?
Yeah, the question was about a new learning community looking for a space, how to find that space, how to fund it.
How to find the space, how to fund it. For me, it was an organization that opened, that had a space, and I applied for them to to be as an employee, and my work to be as a coordinator of educational activities. So I brought this project there. But another way to fund something like this, I would suppose, to be maybe a community funding. Like to say, for example, that everybody can engage them to this project, and everybody can give like €5 each for every month, for example. European educational programs, volunteers, projects with volunteers, again with European programs, or there are different platforms like Workaway or other platforms that can invite people that would like to work in educational settings or contribute and learn at the same time. Yeah, and also probably invite people to like donations, create like events, so you can ask for people that would like to offer. Maybe there are people that they would like to offer. It will be land, it will be resources like maybe a car, maybe other things. So everybody can contribute to create this space with whatever everybody can offer. So this can be a space that if they offer, there will be also receivers of the yield, if you want, like if you create a regenerative space, and it will be a learning project, but also, for example, we create organic food, and we can distribute to the community. They can be the receivers of it, or yeah, different things. It depends of what the space can offer.
Thank you, Fanny. Yeah, if I can recap, like the three simple ideas that I get from this is, one would be contributions from the families, either in money or in kind, that allow the space to sustain itself. So, for instance, an example would be Edu Cambiando in Mexico. So the families pay a membership, and it's actually, they have their accounts fully transparent. Some of them are cooks in the kitchen. This also happened, for instance, in Arohi community in India. And they also receive donations. Second would be from fundraising. For instance, in Poland, there's this cooperative of homeschooling families, and they set up a non-for-profit. So they offer workshops for families, non-violent communication training, so all sorts of different activities that actually help them to fund their learning space. And third would be having some services, like another 3 facilitators were training in the Spanish version of the learning expedition from a learning community in Colombia, and they manage a natural reserve. So they do hiking and all sorts of things, and the learning space is within. So the touristic activities help to fund the school.
So there is a comment in the chat. Monica is sharing that usually a combination of membership, fundraising, volunteer, sometimes a church or a library for a few days, a week to start. Yeah, you have, depending on where you are in a city, it can be a museum or a park or the forest, depending on the climate also.
Yeah. But I will say, another thing I will say is that any of these things take a lot of energy and a lot of time invested. So make sure to pick one that you're actually passionate about by itself, so that it's worth it. Like if it's about growing food and selling food, okay, because you actually like that, not just for the money, or organizing workshops or applying for grants, whatever it is, because it's gonna take a good chunk of your time.
Definitely.
Any more ideas?
Yeah, one idea is that very often, no matter where we are in the world, locations are available, but just people do not know about it. And I think, again, communication is key. to ask everybody who is maybe involved in a new school program or in a new education program, maybe do you know anybody who could provide a location to start a new learning center or whatever? And because so often we do not allow ourselves to ask for the needs we have and to really ask openly what we need. And my experience is that many people really like to contribute. They just do not know about a certain project. And again, I would encourage to communicate as much as possible, especially in this local surrounding where this new education center should be created.
Awesome. Asking for help. Step number 1. Any more questions or comments? Or I don't know if Julie, you want to close that question with any reflection?
Yeah. This is
Yes, Musa?
Yeah, well, it is with regards the questions that was just asked, although I think most people, more experts here have just answered the questions. What I was just about to add, when it comes to like a learning center, because I don't know which type of centers that she is really referring to, because first of all, like what I did in my own case, because I have set up a lot of centers in Sierra Leone on my own without any funding from any other person. So what I did was first of all to really have a clear objective of what that center stands for, because with the objective, if meet people with it, it will be really easy for them to contribute. If you have a clear objective, what is the importance of that particular center? So that was how I was able to capture the attention of the community people. So I did a lot of community mobilizations, engaging the stakeholders in that particular community. So I was able, they provide me the land for free. And I was able also to bring the girls together, and we used local materials and build those centers. And now we are now looking out for other means and ways how we can get funding. So the funding also is coming from some of the activities that we do, like the agricultural activities that I engage the girls to do. We are also getting funding there to run the center. So I think the big thing I want to say is to have a clear objective that you can present to people about the centers that you want to open. Thank you.
Thank you, Musa. Something else? Because if not, it's Sunday.
Yes. Yeah, thank you everyone for coming today all together. If anyone wants to share like a word or something that you take with you as a way to close down, like if someone feels the call, maybe a few people.
Community.
Connection. I see you over there. Thing, hope. Meg, thank you.
Durdanto.
Yes.
Great. Yeah. Love and communications.
Inspiration, says Herman. Vibrations. We're gonna stay with those. Thank you everyone for joining today. It's been great to see you. Let's just stay connected, please.
Yes.
In case you haven't done so yet, let me share also the link to our WhatsApp group. Where is it? Here. There we go.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone. And have a nice Sunday.
See you. Big hugs.
So, bye-bye. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Vera.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.